Yo, what the fuck did we just witness?
First off, man comes back, says no words, throws hands, and then like demolished, confused.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've never seen anybody in a walking boot kick the shit out of a professional fighter without using the walking boot like Jacob Fatu did. Wow.
What the hell just happened to our OTC?
Okay. No more prayers when the God dies. With the future holds with my palms high. Left in my hands and make it alright like yeah. Never let it know your dreams. Put it into a dark regime. Transform the score machine. I ain't had no pot to piss and now I'm frying competition. Burn my way to top position. Scared he fuck out the kitchen. Let him cook. Let me cook. Let him cook. Let me cook. Let him cook. Let me cook. Let him cook. I'm frying competition.
Yee.
What the fuck did we just witness?
We actually saw the bloodline. We saw the bloodline just crack Roman Reigns' shelter. And that hasn't been cracked since Brock Lesnar. Let me tell you. Wow.
Bro, I haven't seen
nuts.
Roman. Hey, you know what, bro? I have not seen Roman thrown around like that since Braun Strowman.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
On soul. I can't. I'm still trying to, like I said, comprehend what the fuck I just saw. First off, I'm cheering like everybody else because, like I said, my boy came in standing on big business. He ain't say no words. We are going on week 3, and he has yet to pick up a microphone and utter a word, and he's just been demolishing the shit. And then I gotta say, on the sad part, fucking Jacob comes in a fucking walking boot for one. God damn, if that ain't Florida man written all over it, I don't know what is for one. But just drug this man across the fucking arena at this fucking point.
Man,
Just,
like,
fuck.
not even gonna lie, this has been a great week for wrestling, but I'm starting to think, man, SmackDown might be taking over as the show. And I mean, maybe it's me, but they weren't bleeping out the "fuck you" Solo.
No, I noticed that. There weren't no bleeps at the end. You know what that means? That means
that too.
And that was on Fox.
Right.
Which was a stretch.
So I was sitting here, I was waiting for the screen to go black. I was waiting for it to get like muted like a motherfucker, and I'm thinking I'm going deaf or the TV broke.
Right.
But look, no, I heard it. Fuck you, Solo.
It's a 2-day a week, and if it's a PLE, there's 3 days a week. They're continuously stretching the boundaries until they get where they want to go, and you can see it every single fucking show. That's great.
They are killing it right now. Like,
hey, just like the opening song and credits say, bro, let him cook. Him is Triple H.
Hey, I was gonna say cooking. Because I was gonna announce it tonight, but you know, Jacob Fatu wasn't due back for another week.
And you know, and we'll get into this later. Because of the passing of a member of the Bloodline today, I really didn't see Jimmy coming in at first when we were talking about it while we were watching it in backstage. You know, I could see Jimmy. Okay, now they brought out Jacob Fatu when we all kind of heard that the reason why he got injured was to prevent him from having that physical confrontation. But they only waited 2 more weeks to give it back. I didn't think it was ready. But when that happened, I'm like, okay, it's time for Jimmy to come back. Whoa. There's a reason Jimmy's not going to come back tonight.
I don't think Jimmy comes back till if they do.
I think Bad Blood's when he comes back.
If this is the pay-per-view they're running for,
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a part of me believing Raw might be Bash at Berlin.
Right.
And SmackDown might be doing Bad Blood. Really? And then Survivor Series might be a duel.
Really?
Ooh, go back to that old school. This show
I'm
do
getting
this
that
pay-per-views.
vibe, right? I'm getting that vibe.
This show get these pay-per-views.
Yeah, like when you're watching Raw,
I miss that. I miss that because then it's not okay. Don't get me wrong. When I say this, I love PLEs where all the shows are included. But do you know how many fucking storylines you got to keep up with? If I had just a Raw PLE to be like, okay, so we got Judgment Day, we got fucking Randy Orton and Gunther. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, I can focus on those, and then over here on the SmackDown, I can focus on Bloodline and Cody Rhodes Crybabies and waiting for Tiffany Stratton to cash in on Nia Jax because that feud's starting to cook a little bit.
That's going to be amazing when it happens.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I'm just saying.
Evolution is a mystery.
Hey, you know, and what's funny is we talked last week about this, and we never could pinpoint exactly why Randy was on Raw all of a sudden. And I figured it out in the promo tonight. When they did it last week, when they did their promo last week, Randy said he brought up the fact that you thought you beat me. You ain't even beat me once. You go back to King of the Ring. You think you beat me? And I'm like, that's why they're pushing this now, because he didn't actually have his shoulders pinned. So they have a segue to bring Randy over there and give him the availability because there's reason for that bout.
I mean,
but I also
you had to expect this path to cross at one point.
Oh, absolutely, especially after that match.
Like when Orton first came out and he said, all right, you got your title match and you won your championship after beating me at King of the Ring, but did you really beat me? You had to know that was going to be it. Like, you know, he wasn't coming out to go, hey, congratulations, you didn't deserve it, but it was, all right, you won, cool. But, you know.
Oh, by the way, real quick, I won't say no more, so you'll know what I'm talking about. Franco confirmed.
Heard. For those of you that tune into the Plunder, bro, y'all are going to be excited for what Derek's got cooking.
Yes, let me cook. Let me cook.
So, hey, Trevor, what's your thought process on this whole thing?
Right now, on the whole thing being Randy and Gunther?
Trevor, not Derek.
Oh, you said Trevor. Okay.
But I'm with Derek on which topic, on what standpoint, like the Raw SmackDown, the Randy Gunther.
Go with Randy and Gunther.
The Randy and Gunther.
Yeah.
Okay. Realistically, I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay.
I know we done teased and talked about Randy getting that title run and, you know, all the. I realistically think Gunther wins and retains, but it's a hell of a fucking match. And and that sets up for, because like we just said, with the way that it seems like they're trying to do pay-per-views. I mean, hell, if you watched Raw this week or even previously, they don't tease Bad Blood.
Yeah.
SmackDown does. So that right there, I mean,
you actually got a point, bro. For me, what I see, it's a little different. We all watch football. You're a teacher, so I'm pretty sure you're not doing much on a Saturday mornings between September and December, and you get up on a Saturday morning, you hear that 70-year-old Florida State grad when you get those celebrities up there picking your teams, and Lee Corso, the legend, looks over and says, "Not so fast." Because if you paid attention tonight, I honestly believe that Gunther wins, albeit a folly, because the appearance of one mysterious Giovanni Vinci, he was promoted in a vignette tonight of coming back. So I believe there's potential for Giovanni Vinci to come back in and maybe play interference. But I think what that does is build a match where he actually gets a title shot, and he being Gunther, builds Giovanni back up. That's what I can see happening.
How do you do that though when they're on two separate brands?
Why? Because like we just been saying,
I mean, Randy's on Raw fucking fighting.
I mean,
maybe Randy was the trade that brought Vinci to SmackDown, and we just didn't see it.
Like, if you think about it, like I said, Raw has not advertised Bad Blood at all, so maybe like they're not going to be included. And after Berlin, like their next PLE is fucking when they do the joint at Saudi.
Yeah.
So
Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
So maybe that
I'm
might
kind
not happen.
I'm kind of digging
I get it. I like it.
Yeah,
but
I'm kind of digging that. I'm thinking, honestly, I didn't notice at all, and it's kind of interesting. And it's very, you can tell you're an educator because, bro, your attentive skills are there. Because the fact that you can even pay attention to that. But, I mean, I can recall, watching the show just like I can recall like 2 or 3 times. I think 2 times is what they promoted Bad Blood tonight. I saw it 2 times. I don't recall seeing the advertisement in a while, and that's why I can jump on board with what you're saying. So maybe, but what's the card looking like for Bash at Berlin? Do you know, Buck Dad?
Let me see if they have it updated.
Because if there actually is an updated portion of the card that gives us a little detail, we might have a little bit more information on that, because what Trevor's saying actually makes a lot of sense. They used to do that, and they talked about when they split the brands back then, if you remember, guys, that it was not like it used to be. These wrestlers on SmackDown were going to be on SmackDown. You would very rarely see one, cross brands now, when they used to be very constant in that. So maybe that's what they're doing.
Maybe it is a dual brand. You got Cody and KO.
Yeah.
And this is from the WWE website.
Right.
Gunther and Randy. Damian and Rhea versus Dirty Dom and Liv. We're going to talk about that too. And that's it so far.
Okay.
So, since we're talking Gunther and Randy, I look at it this way. And Mom, just to answer, Vinci's not. If Vinci interferes, it's because it's a dual brand and Vinci will be there.
Yeah, if that's the case, I agree with you.
I don't necessarily see him go after Gunther in that way. If he were to go after anybody from Imperium, I see it being more Ludwig.
Yeah.
And maybe Ludwig somehow gets moved over to SmackDown and splits away from Gunther.
That's not it's not really a stretch, because you saw, honestly, I always felt like Vinci was being pushed out of Imperium. He was being mocked.
Yeah.
So like I can see
this
the Bad
dude don't
Blood.
talk. Everybody. Oh, what? He don't talk.
Right. So like I can see what you're throwing down right there, man. With with Ludwig moving over to SmackDown. But again, do they do that, or do they just build, Vinci and completely dissolve his association on both accounts, good or bad, from Imperium, which seems to be nothing right now. It seems to be just Gunther and Ludwig being Gunther and Ludwig, and it doesn't seem like Imperium is there. I don't recall being being notarized as Imperium, in the last few weeks. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on looking forward.
Yeah, it is. Now, going away from that, another Raw thing, Raw update. Seth is going to be out after the attack on Bronson Reed, and R.I.P. R-Truth.
Yeah, I ain't heard shit about him.
Off of his ass.
Look, you ain't heard you ain't seen the death certificate, the fucking the autopsy report. You ain't seen shit on R-Truth. He ain't even made a fucking TikTok.
Listen, they done put him in the clouds on TikTok. They done put him in the clouds, gave him his angel wings. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, that shit happened, and I immediately went to the group chat and was like, well, damn.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you did.
Well, let me ask you this. As far as Bronson Reed goes, Trevor, do you really think he's capable of holding the momentum and building his character? Because there's been a lot of questions about him over the last few months, like, why aren't they pushing him? And you could see, now granted, you got to take experience and continuity with the other wrestlers to be able to get in the ring week in and week out like the big timers do. The ones that we really believe in and the ones we cheer at, whether we hate them or we love them, these guys are in the ring all the time. And Bronson Reed, up until the last few weeks, has been like one of those mid jobbers. It's a hit and miss when you see him, and it's been mostly in promos.
Yeah, but he's taking that Braun Breaker approach, because we had talked about it too.
Okay. So this was what I was gonna say. I'm a Bronson Reed fan, first off and foremost. I gotta get that out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Second, I'm gonna say this. I've been enjoying seeing the little bits because, like, if you look at it at a different side light, he's quote unquote, he's not the height. He don't got the height. Okay, don't take the height in account. Just think. That's Big Show.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I get when I see that. So that's why I was okay with let it slow cook and see where it goes. Because if you look what Triple H has been doing, anybody that wins that Andre the Giant Memorial, he's been trying to push him, but he hasn't pushed him off like, hey, there go the whole leash. He's been baby
it's not like winning the Royal Rumble.
And baby spooning.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the way it's going.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, being a Bronson, just like you, being a Bronson Reed fan, I've liked, and again, we're all three into this long time storytelling. So, it taking a few weeks to get things going is okay. And look, he dominated in NXT. He was, but he also didn't stay that long, and they moved him up quickly, which, in my opinion, from my experience, that typically means that they're ahead of the game.
Hang on. Not necessarily. Bronson Reed's got a story, bro. Corey put me on game with Bronson Reed. 2021.
Right.
When they first started, after we'd gone to WrestleMania, we were able to hit that SmackDown for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
They had just released Bronson Reed after they had brought him back. Okay, so they initially released him during the cuts during the pandemic, brought him back, had him going in. If you released him right at that point around Corey's birthday, brought him back briefly to NXT and then moved him up. So he's been going with WWE on and off for about 5 years. Like, I thought it was going to be the next Ryback with the way it seemed like it was going.
So
So I like that they're buying into him finally. Like, this is what Triple H is looking for in the big guy.
like, I'm not gonna lie, like you said, at 100%. The reason I say he gave me Big Show feels is because, like, I felt like this is what Big Show should have been. That big, agile kind of dude. Like, if Big Show could have been at least a half a foot quicker, holy fuck.
This reminds,
He'd
honestly,
have been nasty.
hey, for real, this reminds me of, and rest in peace to him. I know it's not necessarily the same bloodline, but it reminds me of Umaga.
Yes.
He's got the ability. I think Umaga opened the door for these type of heavier set athletes to be able to go, I'm athletic too. And that's what opened the eyes to even guys like Hunter when it came to creative. Like, okay, you got these guys, I can build around them. Look at Ivar and Eric, man, with the Viking ratings.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a minute. Did they both get hurt, or did he go down to NXT?
Ivar
What's going
Ivar
on
went
with
to
Ivar
NXT
right now?
and
I
ain't
can't.
heard
Bro,
of
they
him
need to
since.
bring them back, but repackage.
Well, when he had a match. He had the last time I heard of him, he got beat by Obi, or what's his name in NXT?
Obafemi.
Obafemi, yeah.
Yeah, because
that was the last I heard of him.
On NXT this week too. To him.
Yeah, that was the last I heard of Ivar. But look, Ivar, dude, that cat.
I mean, he might be injured for a little bit,
And that's what I think he is. Or maybe
but it's all right though.
Maybe
they
send him away. Well, if you think about it, when they repackage people, they send them away for a little while.
Time out. They ain't repackaging him more as a fucking singles wrestler though. You give him time to recover with his injury. You got Eric over here recovering from his. By the time they're both healthy, you picture creative. You get that fucking mask off of Sarah Logan, bro, or Valhalla. Because I'm not buying into that.
Me either.
But bro, give me back the original War Raiders.
Yeah.
Give me that before
the mask would work. The mask would work if it was not the sense of what she was trying to play, but in the War Raider sense. It was
yes. Working. It doesn't need to be the centerpiece.
Right.
They're the centerpiece.
Yeah, and that's where they need to be the War Raiders, bro, because they were better. I bought into them.
I did too. They were a good tag team.
Because they didn't, I mean, I've seen a little bit of their NXT work because I got free WWE Network at the time. So they're impressive. I liked that they weren't legit dressed like Vikings off of a TV show. It gave you that War Raider, like, bro, it looked like a set of Oakland Raider fans, bro, popped up on NXT.
Yeah.
I dug it, though, because it was a Viking look, but met with, like, a Road Warrior vibe.
Yeah.
And I could buy into that type of shit. And then the moveset, that's where I like the big guy. Now, with Bronson Reed, I like the approach they're taking with him because now bro, guarantee you're going to get, like Mom said, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
He's taking the same approach, which is going to run him around to the IC title. Now, I can't wait to see that.
That's going to be, as the old Jim Ross used to say, a Donnybrook. That damn thing right there.
That's going to be a slobber knocker.
Boy. Holy shit. That would be an awesome fucking match. But something that I believe that they need to take 4 to 6 weeks to verbally build up. They don't need to touch each other for like a couple of weeks, need to run their mouth and be held against each other. And then you need to see them scrap around a few times, week in and week out leading up to the PLE, because
What I
that
would,
match, holy
so
shit.
what I wouldn't mind when it comes to it, and I get where you're going at, is have them both kind of in almost like similar storylines competing,
Right.
and then they finally come together.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe you do an open tournament.
I don't know, bro.
Maybe they keep feeding Bronson, or maybe they keep feeding Braun Breaker all these random people. Feed them Chad Gable, let Chad Gable get his ass whooped. Feed them the Creed brothers separately. Let them get their ass whooped.
Hell, you can feed him Sheamus.
Yeah, and then all of it, you get Bronson going, all right, man, quit dodging me. You kind of run that type of story.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm digging that.
bro, that match right there, I wouldn't mind holding off until like Saudi Arabia, maybe even Survivor Series.
Well, if we're doing a brand split, maybe not Survivor Series.
I'm
Okay.
thinking Royal Rumble.
I mean,
you say that, but you also got to guarantee.
hang on.
You would also think that
hold
both
up.
of those guys would be in the Royal Rumble next year.
Maybe no. You don't have either one of them in a Royal Rumble. Or no, okay, maybe you do. But bro, you have that match at the Royal Rumble and you make that almost one of those, we're gonna be the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I could see that, bro. You build around that.
Dude. And you can go so many directions with those two in a match, like because of their ferocity and their size and their athletic ability combined, all three. Just like those two dudes would make an absolute barn burner in the ring. As Sheamus would say, they would create banger after banger after banger.
Hey, and hear me out on this. Now you add in the new big man on the roster, and Odyssey Jones.
Ooh. That heavyweight division looking nice.
It looks like for the first time since like ever, more like the early 2000s, we have a heavyweight division again.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I mean, if you really want to go at it this way too, maybe you're pumping up that U.S. title picture or the Intercontinental title picture.
You know who they can use to look, I'm thinking maybe throw him in a match with John Cena.
Maybe. Hey,
John Cena is the kind of wrestler that would take on a entity like a Bronson Reed.
I don't know. Let's not put too. Listen, I read something earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of John Cena, Randy Orton had an interview. I guess he had pitched a match with John Cena one last time, and he said, we'll see. If creative puts it in, I'm down for it, but I don't know. So Randy Orton basically got shot down from John Cena for one final match, unless creative, brings it on. So maybe, bro, what if we go through John Cena's final run and we only see him like a handful of times, like literally a handful of times?
Take into consideration how long he's been gone and his age, like you can't expect,
get the hell out of here.
Nah.
Sting was doing it at 75.
Bro, Sting is also a guy that never stopped doing it. John Cena is just like The Rock. He stepped completely away from the business virtually for years.
And
that makes a huge difference when you're talking about coming back after years of being absent and then making a year-long run.
Okay. So,
I could see him in 8 matches that year.
All right, you know what?
I see him in 8 to 10 matches.
Time out. Just to give y'all the preview real quick of what we're cooking with. September 6th, you're gonna get to see more of this. But I'm pulling the heel turn card real quick.
Sun's coming up as you look to the sky, go down to the water and bathe in the light. Oh my love, oh my love. The angels will sing, whisper words of the heart as I'm holding you close. Keep it.
Let's hear what you got.
Why in the hell would you come back if you're John Cena for a final run if you ain't gonna show up? What's the point in it? What, you just wanted your 5 minutes of fame? Because you're telling me, and
Ratings on Netflix.
Hang on, and you're giving me the excuse of he's been out of the ring for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock came back, said, "Hey, what would you like me to do when I go out to dinner tonight? Sit at the bar, sit at the head of the table." 2 months later, we had The Rock showing up on Raw. Trevor got the popcorn. God damn, this is great. Hey, I still got a whole bunch of the popcorn from the baby shower, and bro, I am popping them bitches for heel turn September 6th. Y'all get ready. Friday nights are never gonna be the same. Now back to what I'm telling you. The Rock came back, did this shit, bro. Within 3 months, you've seen The Rock on TV. He may not have been in ring action,
Right.
but he's cooking. The Rock was cooking. Within
So
6
that's what
months,
you're talking about.
Within
So
6
clarity.
months, you had The Rock in the ring, not once, but twice.
Right. So to
The
get
Rock was-
clarity, you're literally talking about only literally visually seeing him like through 5-6 times. I'm talking about him having about 8 matches, and with those matches, you're going to see him in between.
So
doing.
hang on. So you're telling me 8 matches total in the final run?
Mm-hmm.
But man, you might as well keep your big ass in Hollywood.
I'm not arguing with that. I don't like me
What the
personally.
fuck?
I don't
What?
like retirement runs.
Hang on, though. Here's what you're telling me then. This motherfucker's coming back to take limelight away from the younger stars, make everybody want to wish for him for a minute. And I mean, let's be honest on something. We probably ain't getting him till what, January when they hit Netflix, because he's gonna want to pull ratings on that.
And see, that's where I'm going. I believe that, yes, he's going to retire. It doesn't have necessarily anything to do in connection with Netflix deal. But I also believe he is the kind of guy, he's the kind of company guy
He'll pull,
that
he's
Triple H
still a
can
yes
bring in and
man.
say, I hear you're retiring, but why don't you help me promote this new thing we've got going on while you're walking out the door? We'll give you a couple of select choice matches.
Listen, heel turn, and we'll stop. We'll just let it be for that moment, and we'll keep this. We'll leave the
segment open.
We will rehash out this second part of the heel turn leading up to September 6th, but there is no way that you're going to tell me you're going to bring him back for a handful of matches. His Hollywood career is flunking out.
Oh, yeah.
Batista's going to take over. He can't beat Dwayne in the ring. He feels like he wants to. I hope we get Dwayne doing the same thing to Cena that he did to Cody. And we're going to leave it at that. When we come back from this little break, we're going to get right back into what was going down on Raw.
Sun's coming up as you look to the sky, go down to the water and bathe in the light. Oh my love, oh my love. The angels will sing, whisper words of the heart as I'm holding you close. Keep a shelter from the dark. Oh my love.
Video.
Now, back to the big guys. Let me talk about, since I brought up Odyssey Jones, I know I talked about this, and I just want to say, I think it might be a coincidence. You had Odyssey Jones debut the week before last, or last Monday. You had him debut or then you had his first match the following Monday in Austin. And shout out to Scollywag for letting us get that interview with Little Scollywag. You can catch that on at ReelEighty8 all over social media. Check that out. But you had that match with him, and you had Mark Henry in the audience with his son, who got signed to MLW, where Jacob Fatu is from.
Mm-hmm.
But to add on to that, you're presenting Odyssey Jones as the modern day Mark Henry. Tell me it isn't. The appearance with the overall appearance, the way they're presenting him with the slam, it's just a modern day. It's a swing power slam, it's sidewalk slam.
That was the whole feeling I got when I saw him.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about Xavier Woods and his reaction to Karrion Kross. Is it time? Do you think it's time that maybe Xavier branches away from New Day?
You know, I've been a fan of New Day. Let me not lie to you. I've been a fan of New Day for almost their whole run. It took me a little while to buy in to what they were doing. And it wasn't necessarily like the dorky perception of the power of positivity. You know, it wasn't that. It was just like I wasn't catching the vibe. They felt in the beginning, it felt like a jobber move to me, and I really wasn't buying it because like Kofi is not a jobber. He's a legitimate wrestler. I mean, he's smaller. He can't really compete week in and week out with these massive athletes. But at the same time, when you threw those three together and they became that tag team, dude, just like the Usos, they dominated the tag team division for years. And what I really am intrigued with is they've teased a defaction in the New Day like 3 or 4 times over the last 10 or so years. Every time it's been Xavier Woods. I believe it's time. I believe he's going to go. I believe that the feeling of Big E coming back is literally faded away because of his injury. Extremely unfortunate. He could end up being like an Edge, an Adam Copeland, and end up spending, a long amount of time. Look, I've got a neck injury. I broke my C2 in 2 spots. The doctor can go in and take pictures of my stuff and literally look at me and tell me I'm retarded if I think my bones aren't stronger. The issue with my injury, and most people when they deal with those kind of, big injuries like that, it's not the bones. It's the cartilage. It's the ligaments. It's the nerves. It's everything else that will
hang on, though. He didn't break his neck.
No, he didn't break his neck. But his injury...
His injury is identical to what Randy Orton did.
Yeah.
He's got the fusion surgery. I read an article a few months ago.
Yeah.
The deal is, I think Big E's comfortable where he's at. And, yes, I do have that feeling Xavier's going to go, and I want to pass it to Trevor after this.
Yeah.
But maybe you revamp the New Day with Odyssey Jones in it? I don't know. What do you think, Trevor?
So, I don't know how I feel about it. First off, I was pushing for New Day to get that heel run they never got. Like a true heel run.
Could this be it?
Can you really make Kofi Kingston a heel?
I think so.
Okay, hear me out. I can't remember which documentary I heard this from. But it's always easy to be something that you are naturally. And what is that? I could be real. It is easy for me to be a face if I was a wrestler because I'm nice in real life. It is very easy to show that card. What is a challenge? Being a fucking heel and an asshole and telling somebody about themselves and having just that demeanor and presence. That's hard.
Right.
So if I want that, and Kofi is good at perfecting his craft and devoting to that, I feel like he would be able to be a heel naturally, and it won't look like he's ever been a nice dude in his life.
Right.
So
that's
why I don't second guess that.
I could see that, but it's just hard for me. I mean, it's just like Rey Mysterio. You've seen him take, you've seen him push the boundaries of the means behind why he does what he does in a time or two in his career with certain matches against certain opponents, but he's never been that heel guy. Kofi Kingston, for me, falls under that echelon of those wrestlers that, like, even John Cena, never a heel, whether you liked him or not. He was never a heel character. Even in his thugonomics, I really didn't buy the heel portion of it.
I know. I want to see him get a legit heel run.
Right. I think
legit.
I think John Cena, if you want to look and throw the comparison on that, I think John Cena's probably way more comfortable and way more capable of running a heel turn than Kofi Kingston. Now, not to say, again, I'm a Kofi Kingston fanatic. I love the cat. Like, the way my favorite match to watch that dude in is a Royal Rumble. He makes those matches so fucking entertaining. The way he just creatively, has over the years found ways to stay in those matches. But, all in all, I do believe, you're going to see a heel turn. I don't necessarily think that's the end of the New Day, though. If that happens, I don't necessarily believe, and I'm kind of buying what you're going at, because Odyssey Jones, to me, can benefit in his solo career by hanging with a guy like Kofi Kingston.
Absolutely. I agree. I absolutely agree with you on that one. So we're gonna jump on the other side of that feud.
Mm-hmm.
The Final Testament. Bully Ray set it on Busted Open. I believe it was yesterday. It's time to pull the plug on Final Testament, because really you've got three big guys that are menacing, and they're feuding with nobody. The crowd isn't behind it. It is very 1980s. I believe he had said it feels like it's a Vince McMahon project.
Yeah.
What do you got, Trevor? Start with you. What do you think about that? Do you agree it's time to pull the plug?
Yeah, I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, but I think it's time to pull the plug, because it's like, where other than bothering the fuck out of Xavier Woods and the New Day or New Day 2.0, like, what's y'all's purpose? What is y'all's story? Where are y'all trying to get to? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like you have the perfect opportunity to strike at a other faction that is low-key wounded right now in the sense of the Judgment Day and go win the damn titles. But you're not even in the tag team title picture, so, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. Otherwise, I'm going to just keep talking in a circle and get pissed off.
I kind of agree with you guys. I can't throw a heel turn in here because, like, Buck Dad, you've bled it out of your mouth for a month. Every time we sit down on this show, you have pointed it out at least one time. And the first couple of weeks, I was hoping to, come on and see what they were going to do with him the following show. And it was the same thing. Now, that being said, the only portion of what I could call a heel turn in this reaction is maybe with this deception of a look with, Kofi and the New Day with Odyssey Jones and Xavier Woods. Maybe that's what helps pushes them. They end up beating the hell out of them. Kofi, in turn, gets beat up by Xavier Woods, and that's the split of the New Day, and then they move off from them. So, like, I'm not sure, but I'm ready for it to be over one way or the other.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Out of all storylines going on in wrestling right now, this is the worst one.
This is some AEW shit, honestly.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that shit comes
Doesn't
on
feel like
TV, and
that.
that storyline comes on TV, and I'm like,
Right, dude. I mean, there's no interest in it. And what's bad is if you remember the Authors of Pain when they first came in, like,
they
yeah,
Bro, they were
listen.
savage.
yes.
AOP came in, and I was like, "There's your tag team champions that can break Kofi and the New Day's record for longest tag team champions. Because who the fuck's beating that?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Usos are probably the only tag team that I could see that legitimately, once you get those guys over, you got to have a really fucking good tag team to beat them because those guys have been together a long time.
Right.
They've got chemistry out of the yazoo, and they're literal physical combat. They're literal combat fighters in experience. You know, that's literally what they do. So, like, to see them in the ring and being in that combat is a big thing, and it's natural for them. So I don't buy it. But in Karrion Kross, like, that's an AEW talent as long as the day is fucking annoying and hot. Like,
Yeah.
Karrion Kross, in my opinion, is not WWE caliber. And if he is, then WWE's dropping the ball big time with that guy.
No, yeah. So, do you? Yeah, I don't know, man. At this point, I think maybe you just get rid of them. Drop them to, and I mean, get rid of them off the main roster. Drop them to NXT as something. Put AOP back together as just a solo tag team. Get rid of Holy Blanchard's crazy ass cousin.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I really feel like fucking Karrion Kross could be like, and I don't say this to be mean or disrespectful, but he could be like a great mid-card champion that it has like, oh shit, this nigga is touching Miz and Jericho numbers. Like, that's how I see Karrion Kross, and I'm like, so what's the point of the faction? Because like when the faction first got there, I'm like, okay, you got your mid-card guy that's gonna be the leader, and then you got the tag team to just run amok of everybody, and y'all carrying the gold everywhere. And then now I'm like, how do I keep defending something that I'm not even entertained in?
Right. It's hard to get. Look, I don't believe I've been entertained by Karrion Kross since he came on the main roster.
I like.
And I like.
I don't think I have.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but like,
is okay.
I understand and I feel like I connect to the character. Like, I like the character, but it's like, I don't know if that's like too much for him because I get it because there's points in times like there's a weird drop off. Is it his voice? I feel like it's his voice trying to match that dark persona, but like it's not there.
I feel.
I don't know.
If I was creative and it came to Karrion Kross, I'd have him as a solo guy. Yeah, you could keep Scarlett with him, but maybe she cuts a little bit more of the promos. Because, yeah, maybe it is. He's trying to handle that heel persona and it's not working for him. Maybe that's what it is.
I mean, if that's the reason why you're teasing Xavier Woods going over, okay, then what are you going to do? Because then that's your microphone. But,
okay, so...
Like, if that's how you're going to keep teasing it...
that, okay, so if you do that, maybe you give him I don't know... Maybe there's somebody willing to be a manager that can, like an MVP.
Yeah.
Maybe there's somebody like an MVP that can come in and mold Karrion in a way while being that mouthpiece because Karrion can talk, but you limit it. maybe you do limit it to the promos, like behind screen, like the vignettes, but you don't let them talk necessarily often in the ring. You have the manager cut the promos, almost like Paul Heyman did for Brock. Brock never talked. Brock was just a muscle.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to do that with Kerry.
I can see that. It sure won't be MVP after his recent comments about Triple H. But
and I'm saying like an MVP type as person.
I can dig where you're going with that. But I also want to say that when you say that, bringing that person in for him, you got to be real selective because you can't see his character going many other ways. You know, that sinister style character, I think that's a good side for him. I think that's a good character for him. It's what he's doing with it that's not being received.
Yeah, the Final Testament to me, man. I agree with Bully Ray, whatever he's going by.
Yeah,
but it does feel 80s.
Yeah,
I like the sinister style. I agree with you, but I don't know. I guess I was expecting something out of him when it came to this faction because I said it. This is legit his last run with it. Like if this doesn't work, there's nowhere else for you. I mean, speaking of MVP, look at Bobby Lashley.
Yeah,
he's now a free agent. Possibly could pop up at All In. Doubt it, but it's possible.
I don't think he's coming back.
Maybe
I think that was it.
Maybe this is. Maybe you just got to cut ties with Carrion, bro. Pull him for a little bit, and I don't know.
Look,
even
Drew McIntyre got sent away. What he do? He went and put in the work, and he came back, and he stays on the main card.
I know, but they sent Karrion Kross away already, and they brought him back because he went and built his name up.
Right.
But at the same time, I was kind of hoping and expecting a Wyatt jump with him because his character kind of does resemble a Bray Wyatt type dark entity. Not necessarily exactly the fireflies and all the demon shit, but it's got that darkness in that same realm.
Yeah.
The Wyatt family's already established, so he's out of that equation. You seen the Final Testament come up a little bit before that.
Hey, what's up, Daniel?
But that's the thing, man. Like, it's just one of those. Maybe it's time to part ways for a little bit with him. Send them home until they can get something really creative for them that works.
I'm with that, and I would agree with that. I like that.
Or maybe send them back to NXT as more of a full time.
I personally like that idea. I mean, you can get rid of him and it wouldn't hurt my feelings. But if you want to keep him, NXT is going to be the spot for him, I believe. I believe he can take that character and go places because you don't have a lot of dominating characters in NXT right now, you know. And when they get dominant, they don't stay there long. They move them up to the main roster.
Yeah, but at the same time, look at Gargano. Gargano and Ciampa sat down there for what, 3-4 years?
Yeah,
it felt like a half a career.
But the thing is, though, they didn't want to come up. Ben Balor's gone back happily, and he even said he went back to hone his craft again.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It ain't,
no.
Maybe it's one of those you need to get under Sean for a minute and see what he can do. Maybe revamp how you cut promos. Because Sean does things a little bit more Dusty Rhodes-esque than Hunter does,
Absolutely.
which I fucking love because of what it's creating down there.
Oh yeah, like dude, people don't understand how successful. Like Triple H, that's his baby. You know, NXT's his baby. Dusty Rhodes was like, look at Triple H as a lawyer and look at Dusty Rhodes as his legal aid. Dusty Rhodes did so much work to help build that brand before he passed away. It's unreal. Look at guys like
I was going to say Dusty Rhodes was doing it. And I want to say it was right before Hunter took over too.
Yeah.
Hunter had like a little bit of say, but it really became his thing once he couldn't get back in. It was a Vince thing of he didn't think Hunter was going to turn that shit around.
Right.
And it's crazy to think, man. Vince was looking for a way maybe to get Hunter out.
It's very crazy.
Like he legit handed him a dead product or a dying product and said, "Here, if you can revamp this, we'll take you to the next level."
Yeah.
Maybe.
But that's also the kind of guy Mr. Vinnie Mac was. He was a push you to the limits, get everything out of you, and reward you minimally.
Yeah, well, sounds like he's reaping the reward of his bullshit, or not reward, karma. I really should say.
Look, I think with a guy that old, as long as they're taking to deal with him, that's just punishment.
Yeah, well, I mean, if what Linda McMahon's saying is true, he could be gone soon.
Yeah, I heard about that.
She made comments that his health was deteriorating. So,
well,
get back on the topic on this whole thing.
Okay.
We're gonna.
Can we spin back to that? I just had a thought.
Okay.
Because, so I know we got 3 brands. With the way creative is right now.
Yeah.
For 6 months, just for 6 months, would you be okay for an ECW run? Paul Heyman, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels running ECW for a little bit.
You get Paul Heyman exiting the Bloodline story. I would, you know what, going to Netflix.
Like, it ain't even got to be long term. It could just be for like 6 months.
No. I like where you're at with it because remember the Raw Underground?
Yeah.
Maybe you run something like that on Netflix, ECW. For people that aren't watching WWE Raw and SmackDown because, oh my God, it's Raw and SmackDown. Bring back ECW, bro. And maybe you highlight all your cruiserweights like they originally did. Or you bring back your hardcore type matches.
I feel like then hang on, because now I can now I'm tying the knot. Damn, teacher working. The teacher is working. Ooh. So you bring back ECW. I feel like that can help push with a team like the Final Testament. Let them just go and run amok, be aggressive, be extreme, just kick everybody's asses.
Yeah, but I don't really want to deal with their ass for this long.
I get that.
What's up, Rob?
I was still trying to show faith. Damn it! I was still trying to show faith.
Yeah, I get it, but I really don't feel like listening to Final Testament carrying crosses.
Shit, don't let them cut promos. Just let them go out there and fuck shit up.
Yeah, but, bro, Roman is the only one right now that can come out, not say a damn word, throw hands, and walk out. Wait, when the tribal chief first came back, what was it? Arrive, wreak havoc, or wreck everyone and leave.
Yes.
So what are we missing? long-term storytelling here, fellas. Arrive, wreck everybody, and leave.
Aura. That's what it ain't even missing. That's what that is. Aura.
Yeah.
That's long-term storytelling, fellas.
That's exactly what it is.
Aura.
Now, let's carry forward because I like this topic, and let's revisit it.
Absolutely.
We're going to revisit this because I want to give it a little bit more thought and see what maybe we can come up. Maybe, you know what? Give me a week. Next week, I will see if there's something I can come up with for the Final Testament that doesn't make them boring. maybe that'll be my heel turn for the week, is coming up with something interesting for the Final Testament. But since we talked Bloodline for a second, let's talk. Oh, hang on. Seeing what this. But going into everything, let's talk about the SmackDown side of everything, Bloodline related, but not your typical Bloodline yet. Meechin announced that she will be getting a women's championship match against Nia Jax. What are your thoughts on this?
About damn time.
I like it.
I think them finally pushing Meechin is probably a little bit overdue. I think the fact that she
overdue.
was I think overdue. Yeah. I think the fact that she was, and I'm not a fan of hers per se, but I've seen the talent in the ring, and I believe there's so much more underneath what I have already saw. And okay. I truly believe that, and to be fair to Nia, this is a great first title match for her. But you're also going to see how long she's going to hold that title based on this match and how they carried this promo.
Well, yeah, because I was going to say, if you looked and paid attention to her match in that NXT ladder match, that was, first off, banger of a match.
Yeah.
Just had to put that out there. Like, women, and I don't mean this in no wrong sense, but we're flying everywhere, okay? Bodies were flying everywhere off of ladders. That's all you needed to know. And she did amazing. I think this is a good way to, like, yeah, she's not going to win the match. Let's be for real. But she is going to be, can you help show and put on a decent match to make Nia look good?
Yeah, but can you imagine if Meechin actually beat Nia?
I wouldn't even be mad if Meechin came like very close, but because Tiffany Stratton got involved. And when I say very close, I mean in the pinfall.
I can't see Meechin winning and beating her. I can see her going over in the match.
Okay.
But I can't see them. I can't see her as the world champion right now.
I mean, I get that, but sometimes
singles women's champion.
Sometimes
like the women's United States champion.
Ooh,
see, yes, because they were. I heard news this week. Speaking of which,
I was going to say, if rumors have it, and
they have been confirmed to be bringing on those mid-card titles.
Now, going into that real quick, that, from what I'm hearing, could be happening in Saudi Arabia.
Ooh.
And it could start with the Women's Intercontinental title. What do you think of that? Because that'd be kind of fucked up to, crown a Women's United States champion in Saudi Arabia.
No, it wouldn't. That'd be the most American thing you could do.
Yeah, but that's when you gotta have the pay-per-view over in like Saudi Arabia or during like 4th of July.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I thought they could. I mean, if they really wanted to, they could have did it earlier and did that. But I mean, either way, if it's the IC, cool. If it's the United States, I promise you, I'm laughing my ass off, screaming the biggest USA.
Well, I put it in the comments because I want everybody that comes on and they see that question and they're listening to us right now. I want you to comment below. But Trevor and Buck Dad, this is to you. Next week, if they are to bring the mid-card titles back, a U.S. title and an Intercontinental title. Now, you can take either title and put it on either brand. It doesn't matter. But you can also assume that one's going to be on one brand and one's going to be on the other.
Yeah.
That being said, Trevor, who do you see right now? If you were Triple H, who are you putting that belt on right now?
You want me to give you one for each show?
Yeah, because one's going to be let's just go ahead and presume it's a U.S. and an Intercontinental and just presume the name of the title right there. One's going to be on one brand and one's going to be on the other. Who do you see as the two female mid-card champions right now if you're Triple H?
Okay. So I'm gonna start on SmackDown with the US. US.
Okay.
To give that whole version of that division, that level of the division, like some flair, I should say. I'm going with Piper Nivens for the women's on the U.S. title side. I'm going Piper Nivens.
I like that. That's really good.
As for the IC, because I don't know if she's injured, I just hope she's in catering and trying to figure out life and what to do.
I hope she's not in catering.
Tegan Knox.
You know, I'm going to pull a heel card there. I think Tegan Knox is not the same wrestler she was before her knee injury.
Well, obviously.
Nowhere near it. Well, my point is when saying that, I believe, like, if you remember, because I was a Tegan Knox fan. That's when I was big into NXT right in the beginning. And Tegan Knox was a really good wrestler, but right before her injury, she was over, bro. She was way over.
So hear me out, though. Yes, it would be out the blue to put the title on Tegan Knox, but I would cook it to finish the feud that never got fucking finished in NXT. I'm talking about Tegan Knox versus Dakota Kai, and I want that bitch in an Iron Woman match for 60 fucking minutes.
I like that.
Is something I can get on board with, my man. I like that. Now, while you were away, I don't know if you heard, the SmackDown mid-card title was Piper Niven for him. And then Tegan Knox is going to be the Raw mid-card title holder. That's who he would say if he was Triple H right now. So my question to you is, who would you, Triple H, Buck Dad, put the mid-card titles on?
All right. I'm going to go. I like your idea, Trevor. So you're Raw. I would go. Actually, you know what? Your SmackDown. I'm gonna start there since we're talking Piper Niven. I'm gonna go to the other side. I'm gonna go Chelsea Green.
Ooh. Okay.
So I was gonna cook that storyline to have Chelsea Green, Piper Niven finally break up for the match.
Yeah,
what's up,
that
Daniel?
would be the part to determine. That would be the match to determine the champion. Now on Raw. Maybe that's where you put something on, Io Sky again.
You know who else I just thought about and thought was a good idea?
Lyra Valkyria.
You stole it.
That's not a bad
Still-
idea either. But if it's mid, I don't see her mid card. I see her as the world's women's champion. I don't see her.
Bro,
As
I love Valkyria, bro.
I
I
get
like
that.
Valkyria.
I get that. I don't see her as a mid card. I see her as you put her in the main event.
I really think now here's mine. You know, I struggle with women on SmackDown because I feel like most of your competition is on Raw as far as the female competitors go. You've got a smaller group of your upper echelon female wrestlers. But Piper Niven is probably the best choice on SmackDown right now for that mid-card title. I think she's so close to the main title picture.
This is what I think you do for Chelsea Green.
I mean,
So my other one for Raw, real quick,
I
was
think
gonna
Chelsea
be,
Green is built up by that title, though, instead of Piper Niven giving that title some kind of substance. I think there's two.
What
different
about our Money in the
reasons.
Bank champion?
No, because that's main event. That's main event, hands
Yeah.
down. Tiffany Stratton is a main event.
Yes.
Okay.
wrestler.
On Raw, Sister Abigail.
So
Why?
they're on. Hang on. Is Johnny Gargano's wife and homegirl on SmackDown, right?
I think
I'm
they're.
done with it.
Or they're on Raw? I haven't seen them
I
in a
thought
minute.
they were on Raw. No, they might be on SmackDown because Hunter's pretty good about keeping husband and wives together.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll check that. I'll look that up real quick.
but that would be my other choice because her NXT title run was cut short because she got drafted to SmackDown. That would be my other one. I would possibly throw the mid card title at.
Okay, I like that idea.
I'm so
But
sorry. I can't remember their name.
I'm still on. You got to give Piper and Chelsea that main event for
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
that women's intercontinental. It has to be the women's intercontinental title, just for sheer fact of you got Matt Cardona as what is it? Your Ring of Honor international champion or something like that, or
Right.
TNA international champion. Like he carries one of the TNA belts that's towards the Intercontinental, and I could see
No.
a Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green little reunion and a crossover.
Sorry about that, guys.
Now, you do that mid card, you do those women mid card titles. You let them be on all three, you let them go to either SmackDown or NXT.
Candice LeRae is on SmackDown.
Candice LeRae's on SmackDown, but you still do not put her in that mix. I'm not sold on her as a champion, no matter even if it's mid card.
What about Indy Hartwell?
That's who I was trying to think of.
I
but
need
for
to see
life,
more
I can't
of
think
her.
name.
I need to see more from her.
I think she's capable, but I'm agreeing with you, Buck Dad. I think she needs to see more ring time before most anybody can make that decision.
Well, I know she was
As far as the
phenomenal.
fans
I know she was one of the top women during her time in NXT. So I'm going to give her flowers there. But I still have not seen enough of her to be like, yeah, you could be a mid-card champion.
I mean, shit, you could put Piper Niven and Naomi in a feud for the match or for the belt.
Bro, I'd love to see Jade Cargill. Bianca maybe at this point. You could easily put Bianca to boost up a mid-card title.
Blair Davenport.
Blair Davenport.
Hey, who was that girl that won the night that beat Naomi?
Blair
Blair
Davenport.
Davenport.
Yeah, bro. She wrestles good.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't seen shit from her yet. I'm just saying that.
You just getting started, boss.
Bro, hey, Daniel, go look up Bash at the Beach last year. Roxanne Perez and Blair Davenport.
Okay.
That was a fire match, in my opinion. And that wasn't even for a title. There was
Man,
no even champion at that point. They were still making Roxanne Perez the crybaby babyface on NXT because she was Booker's little draft pick.
I had everybody at the shop reminiscing about wrestling.
Well, good. Tell them to tune in to Heel Turn.
No, I'm saying I was tattooing late. And you know I had fucking Friday Night SmackDown. When I turned it on, I turned it on a little late. I turned it on right when Davenport beat Bianca. Okay. I mean, Naomi. Sorry, Naomi.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that real quick, though. Isn't that a little bit of a surprise that Naomi lost in Orlando?
Yes, dude, I was freaking out.
You know, it is, but if you look at the, you know, while I was listening to you guys chat and looking up that information about Candice LeRae, I was looking over all the women on SmackDown. And honestly, not really. She's probably outside of Bayley and Bianca, she's probably the best wrestler on the SmackDown roster as far as women go when it pertains to being able to come in with a new talent, a fresh talent, a young talent, and be able to make sure that match is smooth and that person goes over.
Hey, I got a question. I came in late, so I don't know what y'all talked about yet.
Not like you. Grown up, motherfucker.
Have y'all talked about the main event? About not the main event, Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns.
Well, we've touched on it, but it hasn't been really in focus yet.
What I want to know is, out of all the people that were there, why didn't anybody come out and help Roman Reigns?
This is why.
You know what?
This is why.
Save that because we ain't got there yet.
Yeah. I'll answer that question.
I just
it
blows my mind
ain't
up.
missed it yet.
Okay, I haven't missed it yet.
And we will have Trevor back. I know he's dealing with difficulties right now.
Yeah, hold that. I'll answer that. That's actually a very easy one, but that's coming from a guy who literally don't miss wrestling and hasn't for 30 years.
Now,
but I'll answer that for you when we get to it.
We're talking mid-card titles. Let's kind of bounce over to tag team titles for a second on SmackDown. We now know who is going to be facing the Bloodline for the WWE Tag Team titles at what is it? Bash at Berlin.
Yes.
The Street Profits are going to take on Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Or Jacob Fatu.
It's going to be, it probably won't be either one of them. It's going to be somebody else from the Bloodline. Because Fatu's still hurt. He was wearing a boot tonight. Even though he still wrestled, they won't let him wrestle with that boot on.
Well, no, hear me out, though. And this is where I was taught. I briefly touched it earlier. And we're going to get to it later. But with that walking boot, you're gonna see, because he wasn't expected back till next week. The injury really was just he bruised his shin. That's all it really was. It was a deep bone bruise. The walking boot is really just cosmetic.
The walking boot is actually a preventative.
Yeah. Right now, that walking boot is really just a cosmetic play. You're gonna see a little bit more from him over the next couple of weeks.
I know we don't want to get into it or whatnot, but how about how stand up it was for Cody Rhodes and how fucking much respect they have for each other, that they're not out there talking shit about each other, wanting to bash each other's brains in. You know, Cody still came to KO's fucking help tonight, even though they're fighting in 2 weeks. That's some stand up shit.
So this feels real AJ Styles.
There's no hate
feud-esque. This feels real AJ Styles feud-esque.
I can see that. You know,
but this is, instead of AJ Styles, well, I deserve a title shot.
Kind of like Sammy and fucking what's his name.
In a way. So I respect you.
You know what I'm talking about, Chad Gable? Sammy and Chad Gibson give him a
You're
shot.
going to see Cody Rhodes snap. And you're going to see KO snap. And you're going to see a brief heel run for this. You have to.
I can see it coming. You've seen it coming for weeks.
Otherwise, if they don't do it, and it's a heel, there's a face, expect Solo Sikoa to get involved. Expect the bloodline somehow to get involved.
Yeah, all they want is for Cody not to have the belt. But does Cody keep the belt until WrestleMania?
No. Cody's dropping the belt soon. Cody will drop the belt soon. And you know what? Could be bad blood. Could be in Saudi Arabia before Survivor Series.
Could it be to Kevin Owens, though?
Absolutely not.
Not at Bash in Berlin.
It will not be to Cody Rhodes. It is.
They
It
don't
might
want-
be to, you know what? It might be to Randy Orton.
It might be. One of them is getting their shot soon.
Randy Orton's gonna get that.
One of them's gonna be a champion. I think Randy Orton's coming to the end of his fucking career.
He is.
So I think they're gonna give him one last hoorah and let him get his championship, and then somehow get it taken away from him right away. After he's gonna, I believe he beats Gunther, bro.
Nope.
He's the legend killer, bro. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, but okay. Can you kill? I get the legend aspect because my words were about to be, where the hell is Gunther a legend?
I mean, Gunther held the U.S. title longer than anybody ever has.
That's
The
legendary.
Intercontinental title.
Yeah, nobody's ever held it as long as he has.
No, and I get that, but here's my thing: 75% of Gunther's WWE title or time in WWE has been with a title.
With the
That's
title.
including NXT. My issue with it, it's time to take the title away from Gunther and see if Gunther's worth the damn without the title. Is it from Randy Orton? No. I like your thought process about the legend killer. But the legend and whatnot. Hear me out though. The legend that gets killed is the one that Cody Rhodes has about keeping that undisputed title and winning the championship that his dad never held. That legend gets killed.
You know, legend killer. You said legend killer. And we talked John Cena earlier, and you just put something in my head. What if Randy Orton's John Cena's last match?
Hey.
In the words of John Cena, and I
What
said
if
it
it's
earlier,
both of their last match? And we
In the
don't know
words
it.
in the words, hang on though. In the words of
That
John
wouldn't be
Cena,
Orton's last match.
No, Orton's gonna fucking run a little bit. I think they're gonna let him win.
Orton signed a
And he's gonna have
contract
a last hoorah.
until like
I hope he has
2030.
the last hoorah.
Guys, we're talking the end of 2025.
yeah. But here's my deal though. Orton already stated it that he had pictured the John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena said it depends on creative. What if creative already has 2 dozen matches in line and none of them state Randy Orton's name? What if John Cena does his 8 matches that you're predicting there, and not any of them are a John Cena classic?
I think that would shit on the whole WWE universe if they did that.
Maybe. What if the fans don't call? What if the fans don't call for it? What if they're not clamoring for it?
I mean, we've claimed as soon as we heard that announcement, the 3 of us for sure. I know I'm not sure about Daniel, but the 3 of us for sure. We all mentioned the only match we mentioned a couple of fresh matches that we've never seen John Cena in with opponents, but every one of us mentioned those classic Rock Cena, Randy Orton, and as far as Rock Cena, that's great. Randy Orton and John Cena was a way better program than the Rock.
I want CM
and
Punk and John Cena.
Oh my God, yes.
But
That would be great.
But I want a heel run John Cena in the same way that when he did that Firefly Funhouse match with The Fiend and Bray Wyatt at Mania. How at one point it was NWO, and speaking of NWO, I like what Rob said with the bloodline, and I think I had said this a few weeks ago. But what if that is the style that you get from John Cena? What if that is the heel turn? None of us thought Hulk Hogan would ever turn heel, right?
Okay, hey, so now that Trevor's here, look, hold on.
What if John Cena goes heel and turns on Cody Rhodes?
It could happen. Dude, anything could happen with the storylines they got going right now, dude. But can we go back to that question I asked you guys when Trevor went down? So my question is, why did nobody come out and help Roman?
We'll get to that. We still got. We're almost there, baby. So
I'm sorry, dude. I was at work all fucking night, so I'm peeking over my shoulder tattoo and like, man, what the fuck's going on? Goddamn. Like, literally trying to rush a fucking tattoo, bro. Like, fuck.
Let's talk about this real quick, because everybody's talking about LA Knight. Defends his U.S. title next week against Santos Escobar.
Look, I like Rob's assessment of Daniel. He needs a beer right now to calm him down.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, okay, well, how about this? Do we see Drew McIntyre ever get a championship?
Yeah.
Yes, and I love that. Hey, and just to let everybody know, before we end the show, I want to give Daniel a little time to kind of, live on tonight's show to kind of give his, just in case nobody caught that interview with his daughter the other night, kind of give a recap of his Monday night.
Bro, Monday night was absolutely fucking fantastic. Started off with, we got there, walked about a block up the fucking hill. One of the longest walks I've ever had to make in like 10 minutes. By the time I got to the top of that hill going up, dude, back of my calves and my hammies, bro, were burning. Now, mind you, it's 115 degrees, it felt like. Downtown Austin. I get there, man. We're outside for at least an hour, maybe 45 minutes before they finally let us in. They didn't let anybody in. The doors opened at 5. They didn't let anybody in until like almost 5:20.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
They had fucking EMS on staff on call, bro, at every little spot. They were wheeling people out of the fucking crowds.
Oh, I bet they were.
Passed out, fucking dehydrated, falling out. People spending all that money on tickets to fucking pass out in the heat.
Daniel, one of the things Daniel was showing, was a bottle of what was it, vodka?
Yeah. That was beginning. We went and saw and met Drew McIntyre. Annabeth got her picture taken with him. Got a figurine signed. I got to meet him. I talked to him. He shouted out Sarah and sent her a little message and talking about his one last
feeling.
His one last feeling that he had, that she heard it for not showing up.
That made me a Drew McIntyre fan like 10 times.
He's like, Sarah, you hurt my one last feeling that I had.
That was such a great moment.
That was
history.
So great. It was super great. And then we get, like I said, then we come home, we rest, relax, get up out there. Once we get inside the arena, it's the atmosphere just got different. Like, it felt different as soon as I walked in. Being out in the heat, everybody out there, whoa, and whoa, and whoa, and yeet, yeet. At one point, bro, I just stopped. I got mad, and I was like, hey, quit yeeting. Let us in, goddammit. It's hot as fuck out here.
You made it.
I'm like, no more yeet, man. Said, no more yeet. Just get it done. Just let us in, man. It's fucking hot. Like I said, we finally got in. We got our seats, and we sit down, and Annabeth's like, oh, my God, we're so close. She's like, oh, my God, it's awesome. And then, like, it just from then on, dude, every 5 minutes, it seemed like Annabeth would turn to us and be like, thank you so much for bringing me here. Thank you so much. Went to the point where we both had to tell her, okay, Annabeth, we get it. We love you. We wanted to bring you here. We know you're happy.
Bro, you know what? Though? That's still cool as shit. The fact that you have a kid that is like grateful for that shit.
Oh, dude, she loved it, dude.
You did,
and
good.
look, she likes Olivia Rodrigo a lot too. Now, if y'all know anything about Olivia Rodrigo,
yeah, thanks,
she's like
bro.
the Mexican,
Yeah,
she's like
thanks.
the Mexican Taylor Swift type shit.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Because my kids heard you talking about that during the summer when we were talking one day, and I had to play it for a good solid hour on their phones. So appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Anyway, you know, she like they asked her, you know, what was better? What was better, Olivia Rodrigo or the wrestling? She said, "Oh, wrestling by far."
Look,
Yeah,
the enthusiasm, the
She said she
enthusiasm
liked
I've
wrestling
seen from
better.
her every time she's come
We're
on with us a couple
watching
of
it.
times, like 2 or 3 times, about this, and then seeing that interview and then being a part of that, dude, that was as a 44-year-old man who doesn't personally know that little girl, that was that touched
She
my
liked
that
the
touched me a little bit. I was
$300
like, fuck
wrestling
yeah.
tickets better than the $1,000 I spent on Olivia.
It had nothing to do with how much money you spent on tickets.
I spent
She
$1,000.
loved it more at wrestling than she did at the concert. And she's like, she loved the $300 tickets instead of the $1,000 tickets.
I mean,
Hey, bro, she paid almost $1,000 for the seats, like that were in the back behind the fucking like way nosebleeds.
Hey, bro, for $1,000, you can stand outside the stadium that Taylor Swift is in. For $500, you can get into the town that she's in.
It was unfucking real, dude. I was like,
bro,
Annabeth loved it, dude. She got her face painted, and they had all kinds of old school face painting, like not the wrestlers that were like not all the wrestlers that were like they had the OJ Uso orange face.
I was about to say, hers felt very old school original Uso.
Well, that's what it was. It was Jay Uso on there. They had Finn Balor when Finn Balor had his face painted.
Demon, yeah.
Yeah, they had Finn Balor like that. They had the I don't know, the one that had like the Io Sky, I guess, one of the girls that looked all crazy.
Probably it may have been Asuka.
They had Papa
Shango.
Papa Shango, yes. That's the guy I was trying to think of his name. I didn't want to get it wrong because I didn't want to look like an idiot.
Yo, speaking of that, isn't it crazy Papa Shango went from a voodoo? Isn't it crazy Papa Shango went from voodoo to a pimp?
I just saw that they had the voodoo face there.
Yeah.
And immediately she's like, I want the Uso face. And they interviewed Annabeth there. They asked her questions. The local fucking UT news station, whatever.
Oh, hell yeah.
At Moody Center, they did a little interview with her. Because she was out there with her blanket on. I mean, it was hot, but she had her Cody Rhodes blanket tied to her neck, bro, with her Cody shirt. But you know what? Yeah. She wasn't getting burnt by the sun because she was covered up by the blanket.
Hey, smart kid.
And that sun was beating, bro. That sun, I mean, it felt like that sun was touching me every time.
Oh, we feel. Hey, trust me, we feel you down here.
Look, the Panhandle be feeling that all the time.
Fuck, dude, it is stupid. And see, y'all got a different heat. Y'all got a heat that can choke a donkey. You know, the humid.
Does more than that shit.
Yeah, the humid. You come to Texas, bro. It's like they say, what's the weather like in Texas? And they say, have you ever been cremated? Because that's what it's like.
Hey, you want to know what it's like right now in Tampa? You want to know what it's like in Tampa right now? You ever been to a crab boil?
I'm
You ever? Okay, listen to me. This what it's like right now. This what it's
you
like
say
in
you
Florida.
say crab boiled. I
Right
think
now.
of that.
Hang on. This what it's like in Florida. You and all your friends decided in the middle of the day that you decided you wanted to partay and you wanted to fry and boil and grill shit and use nothing but propane and fire, and it's just hot as fuck. Oh, and
Okay,
don't
y'all.
forget, you gotta pull down sweat and you ain't did nothing but just stand there.
Y'all know I'm a fucking diehard Bucks fan. I'm a super fan.
I
Right?
know. I
So
can't wait for you guys to come out here.
Wait.
So-
Real quick. Not to cut you off. Bucks fans, please don't forget to start hydrating. Week 1 is going to be hot as fuck.
hey, I know. That's what I'm getting at.
Start
So-
hydrating now.
Yeah,
So
Wait,
I
wait,
went
water?
to
With water
the
or
Chicago
alcohol?
Bear game. I went to the Bear game a few years ago. I want to say when Mike Glennon was the quarterback of the Bears, and he came to visit,
I know.
and we beat the shit out of him. We beat the shit out of Chicago that day. But me and Sarah left in the third fucking quarter. I have never been that hot in my life to leave a fucking game, dude, that I love so much.
Bro, going to, and not to get off topic because we're about to hit your question that you were asking, but Creamsicle Day, being out there for that hour was hell, bro. Being in gear, yeah, it's gonna be a hot ass season.
I think we're pretty close, bro, in heat temperatures,
Listen.
bro.
Listen, when the
Yeah.
other southern states say it's hot, I don't even want to argue with them. I'm like, bro, fucking same.
Yeah. I lived in Kansas, so I've been to Texas, and I feel for you. So yeah, I think we got about the same heat. Just it hits a little bit different.
Yeah, y'all got a humid, dry. We got a dry, hot fucking
Yeah.
heat.
Listen,
Not humid. I'm talking. You could be in
I
the
got a
shade,
friend that
drinking a
lives
cold
in
beer,
Connecticut,
still
and
sweating.
she's talking about it's hot. I'm like, bitch, you're in Connecticut. It's not hot in fucking Connecticut.
What is it? 78 degrees. Hey,
Like, I'm like, shut up. It's hot as fuck
balmy
down
82.
here.
no, baby.
So now I'm gonna ask you a question now. 'Cause
Hold
we're
on.
about to hit this.
Let's not end the show on a bad note. Let me go ahead and break the tragic news today. For those that don't know, I don't want to end the show on a bad note.
We ain't in it yet,
Okay.
so go ahead.
Yeah, we're talking, but
Hold on. Everybody, just in case you haven't heard today, the Bloodline has been in the top of the storylines in WWE for 4 years, and today it made an inconvenient, sad note into the WWE universe when Afa Anoy, is that pronounced right? Afa Anoy.
I know why.
I know
The
why.
Wild Samoan,
I know
part of the
why.
Wild Samoans passed away today. And it was very tragic because here, a month ago, maybe, you lost the other one, Sika.
Yeah,
The Wild Samoans are
hey, the
officially
Wild
done.
Samoans, one of the greatest tag team champions ever.
And you know what I feel is, you see those, if you ever walk around and you're in a public place and you see that old couple that looks like they're 25 because they're so in love, and the wife passes away or the husband passes away, and you think to yourself, like, instantly, that's the kind of guy that won't make it long after their spouse passes because of that connection. How uncanny is it? We just lost Sika a month-ish ago, and now Afa has passed away. And let me tell you,
Hey,
if
and
you're
Afa
not
did it.
over 30 years old and you
And
have no
Afa
clue
just
who the
spoke.
Wild Samoans are, go to YouTube, type in Wild Samoans full match. Absolutely insane.
Funeral, didn't he?
Huh?
Alpha just spoke at Sika's funeral, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Afa actually spent 3 stretches in WWE. He
So-
actually lost his job, he claims, one time. They said he got fired one time because he went to his child's birth. I want to say it was Samu. not his child, but Samu. Yeah, Samu and what's his name was his child. He's got Rikishi. Well, he's got 3 kids, but 2 of them aren't in wrestling, or 2 of them are in wrestling, and 1 of them isn't. Rikishi is one son, Samu is the other one, and I can't remember the other kid's name. But Rikishi is also the father, if you don't know, of the Usos, which is a huge reason why you guarantee you didn't see Jimmy Uso, regardless of what they had planned. I mean, that's his grandfather. So, like, it's a sad thing.
No, Jimmy, I think, is being held off till Berlin.
I want to say they're waiting for the right moment, the same way, you know, they've done with a lot of things.
Okay, so why did they help Roman? Why didn't anybody help Roman?
Give me the answer.
Now, the reason you didn't get help for Roman right now,
you don't need it.
You said that Trevor said it to begin the show. This man has done Roman, and this is how you know that Roman is the GOAT. He's done nothing but walk in, not say a damn word, whoop ass, and walk out. It's only fair that the bloodline fought back a little bit tonight.
Absolutely.
And it's okay because it makes you turn around just like right now and say, why didn't somebody come out and help? We were sitting right here as SmackDown was going off, just talking. And we literally started the show with our raw reactions of what the hell we just witnessed.
Not to mention, to kind of pull off of what he said, Daniel. Number one, when you have an entity like Roman Reigns who held the title for such a long period of time, and it took 2 years for one man to beat him. It took that one man 2 years of building up and going after him and dealing with it to beat Roman Reigns. So hold on, hear me out. Let me finish. One, you take his persona. It's way up here, right? You bring 2 or 3 people out to help him, and it doesn't make him look as strong. Number one. Number 2, he is building Solo's character while getting his ass beat.
No, negative. It's exactly the reason that you see that man in a walking boot right now. They didn't want to cross paths of Roman and Jacob one-on-one. And what do? You bring Jacob in to save Solo's ass, just like it took bringing Jacob into the bloodline for him not to cross paths with Solo.
Yep. It goes back to the reports that they held Jacob Fatu out a little sooner because he would overtake the persona of Solo and really, like,
I remember Daniel asking me the same question. Where's Jacob Fatu? Where's he at? Didn't they sign him? I remember these conversations.
Yes.
So now this is the one man in that bloodline, Daniel, that can match Roman one-on-one, bro. It ain't Solo.
Absolutely.
It's not Solo. Fuck no.
If you wanted his necklace, you got to go to my enforcer. Roman ain't gonna get his hands on Solo like that until November when we get Survivor Series.
Yeah, I agree. There's going to be a lot of build up and interference in that program.
You're gonna get a lot.
Okay, here's my retort to what you were saying, Derek. Roman held that thing for 2 years. You said, right?
4.
Yeah.
4.
It took Cody Rhodes 2 years to go after that bitch.
Yeah, it took Cody 2 years to get it.
Okay, so let's be real. How many of those actual fights did he fight by himself?
It don't matter. He did. He was the perfect.
The initial 2 when he came back and fucked up the Fiend and Braun Strowman, took his title back, and then he sat there and told Jey Uso to sit the fuck down.
Touche. Yep.
Very true. Very true. Now, for me, what I saw tonight was Roman come out there and do exactly what we all expected Roman to do, which is what everyone expects Roman to do, and that's clean house, because his character He's been gone for 3 months, and I think it's gained momentum at being fucking over. You know, but what I saw tonight was the first glimpse, like you were, branching on, is that interaction with. Because that's what I'm waiting on. I'm a real wrestling fan, and I know where this is going, and I can't wait to see Jacob Fatu tangle up with Roman Reigns. Now, do we get that before this feud? Because I honestly predicted Jacob Fatu to turn on Solo. But does he turn on Solo in part for Roman, or does he turn on Solo and take the head of the table?
I think he takes the head of the table.
I think he goes after the head of that bloodline.
What do you think, Trevor?
I mean, let's be real. Who can stop him?
He's gonna start his own blood. It's gonna be him and the Tongans.
Exile. You're gonna exile
Stop the
Solo.
werewolf right now, though, bro. Who can stop the werewolf?
Okay, let's be real. Let's be real. Right now, the focus is what? The Ula Fala. That is the focus of this shit right now. That shit got everybody looking stupid and dumb. What movie was it where everybody was chasing this dumbass piece of shit, and it was like everybody just went to whooping their ass, and it was like this thing for like some meaningless fucking.
Oh, that was the vote like 4 years ago for presidency.
So,
TJ, I don't know. Sorry, man.
I mean, here we go on this one then. You exile Solo, because you even brought it up, Trevor. Solo had told Tama Tonga that if Roman wins and gets that Ula Fala back, you have to acknowledge him as a tribal chief. I have to acknowledge him as the tribal chief. Solo's going to acknowledge Roman as that tribal chief once again, and he's going to fall in line. Because they always do. Jacob takes over the head of that bloodline because The Rock comes back and anoints him as that head of that enforcer, his part of that bloodline. Yes, he goes for the tribal chief, but that's when you get that down the line. You could easily have that Ula Fala be the main piece to end that part of the story for Bloodline versus Bloodline at War Games.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that.
It'd be Rock, Jacob Fatu, the Gorillas of Destiny with Tala Tonga and Tongaloa. And then you're going to get Tala Tonga coming in, Haiku Lu. That's going to make up Rock's bloodline versus Roman's bloodline, which is going to be Roman, the Usos. You're going to get Solo. And you might get Sami Zayn, depending on how deep the story really goes. Because I can see Sami easily standing by Jay's side at this time because of them having the tag team championship. Because I think Jay Uso does get that tag team title run with Sami Zayn, like we were talking about last week.
Yeah, I do too.
Now it makes a little bit more sense. So I mean, I don't see any other way. Now with the bloodline story, with this whole Roman thing.
Yeah.
The reason you didn't have anybody save him, bro, you had to have him get beat up a little bit. You had to have him get beat up a little bit to make everybody clamor for him to need somebody to have his back. We know the numbers are against Roman, but so far he's come out walking out.
Right, I get it.
So, now, what I find kind of ironic is that shield bomb. That's what I find a little ironic is you push that shield bomb and then boom. You put Roman down with it. You put Paul Heyman down with it. You put Jimmy down with it. You know it's going to go a little bit deeper down the line.
Yeah.
You know Roman's going to have to call Seth when Seth is healed up.
When do we see Zilla?
Maybe Zilla comes into play at one point.
I would say towards the like final conclusion when it looks like the end game, like the Avengers type shit.
Well, maybe we don't. Hey, you know what? I take that. Maybe we don't get Solo falling in line back or Roman. Maybe that's where you get Zilla because it is the Fatu's behind Roman. Solo turned his back on his cousin. Jay technically didn't turn his back. He walked away from the family because they jumped him out. He just was beefing with his brother because his brother kept, fucking him out of matches.
Right.
He fought Roman because Roman wanted to go after him.
I'm gonna have to get out of here, man.
Yes, sir.
I've had a long day today, man, and I'm chilling.
We will talk, my man. We will talk. I appreciate you
Y'all
coming
have a good
on.
night. All right, later.
Brother.
But like I said, maybe this is where you get Zilla coming in, and it's the Fatu's backing up Roman. Solo's technically not a Fatu. He's an Hanoi.
Yeah. I
know why.
I think Zilla is going to be – I don't think Zilla's going to be around as soon as everybody thinks. I think it's going to be a little while. I could see it being after the beginning of the year.
I'm not opposed to it. I don't think he'd be worth putting in and getting involved in the War Games. I think the War Games, you're going to get a few members beat up and out for a minute, and that's where you're going to get a few more emerge, and it's going to be, holy hell, there's more.
I think the War Games should be the original bloodline. Roman, the Usos, and Sammy.
Yeah.
That's what I feel Roman should take because that's where it all started. He built it. That's the beginning. And I believe
you know how he could play it? You know how he could play it? I want my family back. And he can go to Sami Zayn directly and be like, you broke my family, you fix my family.
Yes.
I like that.
I like
how you ran that in that topic.
Because you remember, he beat the hell out of Sami Zayn at the end of that PLE.
Excuse me, 1 hour and 51 minutes. I'm going to tag WWE and tell him to fast forward to this part and listen to this guy at the bottom of the screen because he's really got some good shit going on. That actually makes a shit ton of sense, dude.
I appreciate that because you know what? That kind of leads into what we're looking at. That would be kind of a heel turn thing, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
You're going to get a lot of that shit coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah. By the way, don't forget to follow on YouTube ReelEighty8. That's ReelEighty8, and you can get that all over social media as well as at The Plunder 2023. Smash the follow, smash the heart, smash the subscribe. Go ahead and catch it, and don't miss out on September the 6th. There's a lot of good stuff coming from the people on this show September the 6th.
Yes, sir. Speaking of that, in 2 weeks, we are not doing away completely with pancakes and power bombs. This will still be something. Just not what you see on your Friday nights. Because Friday nights are never going to be the same following SmackDown because we're bringing you heel turn. And it is going to be one of the greatest heel turns you've ever seen. So tune in starting September 6th.
Can't wait.
It's going to be amazing. And you know what, you guys? It's going to be a fun week leading up to next week. We got the
Indeed.
Plunder pregame and postgame tomorrow night. You can check that out on 88 on the Plunder and on Bucks Life. And next Friday night, tune in for the final Pancakes and Powerbombs episode before we turn over to a bunch of heels.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I had fun tonight, guys.
Dude,
I
it was
did
a great
too.
it was a great show. We had a lot to talk about, even though we did a show on Monday, which we do the pre on Monday. We do it before Raw, so we were able to give our reactions to everything that happened. But there was a lot of stuff to go down. We covered a lot of content.
Thank you for bringing that up, because Monday is the final pre-Raw episode before we go straight down to one show.
You beat me to it.
You're right. Thank you. You know what?
That's exactly where I was going. but yeah,
so you know
it's been
what?
a great show
Monday,
with a lot of content. But I really want to do a shout out. I did this off camera. Guys, if you've watched us since we started at the Plunder, Trevor, this even goes to you. We started our venture as putting on a show for people a little over a year ago. And we were talking about it earlier at how we just look like a couple of dumbass dudes sitting there bullshitting our perspectives back and forth off of each other. And when we created Pancakes and Powerbombs, it was because we not only have a love for football, but we have a substantial love, and I honestly feel a more in-depth knowledge of the wrestling business than we could also all fathom of how much football we need to know. You know, we all know the game, but the fundamentals of the NFL is a whole different ball game. But wrestling, I think, is such an easy thing for people to relate to once you follow it enough. And that being said, we bring a simple product out. Football and wrestling, two of the most popular physical sports in American history.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Without these sports, we wouldn't be here. Without the creative knowledge, experience, and intelligence into what we've got going on as well. And look, this is to no means saying he's the best or he's perfect, but shout out to Buck Dad, because without him, our platform would not be what it is today. I run my mouth, and that's what I do. He's pretty smart at running his mouth. See, even over a year, I still can't figure out which direction to point to get it right with these inverted cameras. But
don't feel bad. I do the same shit. I'm just
you know, at least you've got a finger to straighten out.
Yeah, but you know, the only thing is, whoever is on the bottom, it's not that it's great that they're on the bottom, but it's easy because I can just, and I'm never wrong.
I'm like, shit, no, that way.
Yeah, I'll go to the point who's next to me, and I'm like this, and I'm like, wait.
Look, we're gonna acknowledge our chief here. We're gonna acknowledge our chief. We're gonna give him the horns. I can't give him the one. I can't give him the one. I got to give him the twos. I got to give you the twos, bro. But I'm gonna give you your flowers, everybody out there. Please, if you've seen this live, if you're hearing this, go comment, appreciate Buck Dad, because without Buck Dad, we would just be a couple of guys with some shitty ass backgrounds of some dirty laundry or an old dirty ass window blind, you know, running our mouths for 2 hours. So thank you, Buck Dad.
Not that dirty.
Look, Trevor, actually, you keep your house pretty clean. But one thing you need, the fire chief will have an issue with that flap open on that breaker box back there.
Listen, we had to fix some shit, okay?
We noticed that.
There's some fireworks going on. And hey, and how do you know that's not just a backdrop of one open?
Because it was closed earlier.
Yeah, well, maybe he had a photo of it being open. Maybe he just uploaded it by accident.
Look, he taught me a little bit this show about being very attentive.
Hey, I get it.
But
you
yeah,
know what,
thank you,
guys?
Bugdad. Thank you, Bugdad, for bringing your experience and having the ambition to not only see what needs to be done, but taking the bull by the horns and creating this format with you, with the way you bring the lives to the table, with the backgrounds, with the descriptions, with the topics, with the way you pour it out there. I really want to thank you. We would
Nah,
not be
hey,
here if it wasn't for you.
nah, and straight up, bro, thank you for, wanting it. It really started with the plunder. So thank you for, when we started that shit a year ago, we were
Bro,
both
when you were
sitting